Well, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, a little bit of news, a little bit of Star Trek news. Strange New Worlds apparently is going back into production for Season 4 a little bit sooner than we thought. Now, Season 3 has finished filming, I believe. They're just doing post-production. It's going to be premiering sometime next year. It should have been this year, but it's been delayed. It was delayed because of all the strikes and so forth, so that's fine. And Season 4 is going to be coming in 2026. So we kind of skipped a year because of the strikes, so that's not the first time it's happened, but it happened with Discovery just because they couldn't manage their budget and their schedule and just got behind, whereas Strange New Worlds actually had an actual excuse. But yeah, apparently the actor who plays Kirk, and I'm blanking on his name right now, said that he's basically going to be back in Toronto to film in February. So it looks like Season 4 is going to begin in February. So it looks like he's got a recurring role, and the producers have threatened to crash directly into Star Trek, the original series. So they're just morphing what could have been a really good, interesting Pike series into a parody of the original Star Trek, because it's not really, it's sort of a reboot. It's an alternative universe, alternative timeline, copyright issues, all that stuff. It's not the same universe. But it's also like a parody as well. It's become a joke, and not a good one, where in the past we had thought-provoking stories, and we had, for example, the Gorn weren't monsters. They were misunderstood aliens who had reasons to do what they did. In this new version, they've just ripped off Alien and made them into monsters, and there's no sense of them being individuals or people or having any reason for what they're doing. They're just monsters, and they just kill people. And, ooh, scary, monsters in space, shoot them. That's the level Star Trek operates at now, so it's pretty sad. But so I have no hope for this next season. I love the idea of the Pike series in Star Trek 2, Season 2 of Discovery. I thought this could work if they did a series with him. The episodes with him and the Enterprise in Discovery Season 2 were the only decent ones of that whole season. We were hoping for a lot of improvement after the first season because things went so badly, but no, Season 3 was abominable. Then we did get word that they were going to do a Strange New Worlds, even though Kurtzman didn't want to, and they said they wouldn't. They did do it because the fans wanted it, and the studio wanted it, and they're paying for it ultimately, in the end. God, don't go into all that politics. That's another video. But yeah, so I was optimistic in the beginning, and the first season had a couple of good episodes and some issues, but I let it go because I thought the next season would be better, and the next season just went downhill, and they had some really bad episodes, and they took Star Trek to a new level of shame and degradation with the musical episode, where they could have just done a musical format episode, which would have been fine, but they made it in universe and gave the most ridiculous explanation that didn't make any sense, and really just insulted the viewers by saying that somehow this thing that we've said caused this is making people dance, in sync and all that, and just on a ridiculous level. And they had the Klingon B-boys, and it was just like, well, boy band. It's just like, yeah. It was like, yeah, there's no hope. These people don't get Star Trek. They think the original Star Trek's a joke, and they think audiences who watch new Trek and Star Trek think the original series is a joke, and they just laugh at it, and they just want to parody it and make fun of it. Even when Discovery had Pike episode referring back to the cage, the instance of the cage, they showed footage from the original series, like previously on Star Trek, but instead of doing it in the regular way, they had pop-up things, and they just made a complete joke out of it, like it was some funny 60s retro, pseudo-retro thing, and it was just really condescending and insulting, and that's the attitude they have with Star Trek, and that's, I think, what we're going to get with Season 4, unless they've listened to fans who hate that, and they've pulled it back a bit in Season 3, and they're actually going to maybe explain why the Gorn are doing what they're doing, and make them, human, humanize them, which the original series did have them as a legitimate race and so forth, and then they just turned them into a parody and a monster, and that's just what they're doing with the whole series. Everything is just a parody. It's just a joke. It's to be laughed at. You don't take it seriously because Star Trek's just this funny, bright-coloured 60s show that you laugh at because you don't actually understand how to actually view a show from the 60s in context and so forth. And that's the audience they're going for. So it's just a mess. And yes, it's filming in February. They're definitely doing season 4. And that guy who's the sad attempt at Kirk. Kirk had personality and swagger and was interesting. This guy is just bland and doesn't even look like Kirk. So I don't know how they managed to get the Kirk and the JJ films pretty right, but this one is just an embarrassment. So great, he's back for next season, season 4. I'm going to go.